we go, people. What's going on with you? Sorry, a little late. I'm always running late. It's crazy. It's the story of my life. Always running late. Um, I appreciate everybody that tapped in. Great Jedi, Bon Bonjour, Bean Dip, Cartography. This ought to be a great one. Thanks. Who else we had? Camilla, Tracy, Vito, Randy, JM, SJ. What's going on? Let's see. That's how we do this. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Okay. I think we go like this. Yeah, copy. Boom. Okay, so this is gonna be for Goyo. What's going on, Goyo? Appreciate everybody that tapped in, man. This right here is gonna be for Mikey DiLeonardo Jr. When he taps in. Yeah, I'm always running late, man. It's just something came up, and I mean, it already was. I mean, I was already aware of it, but I just couldn't get it done in time, and I pushed it back a little bit, and then it it got, I couldn't get it done in time again, and just one of them things. So hopefully, Mikey taps in here soon, and we'll be able to go. Let's see. There's that. Okay, comments. Let's see. Is there anybody that's in here now that? Let me see. Maybe I could do it from here. I was gonna see if there's anybody who was in here now that could tap in, send Mikey a message. Let me see if I can do it from here. Oh yeah, I got him right here. Okay. Sorry about that, Barrett. Thanks for bearing with me. Let's see, live now. All right, so I sent him a message. Hopefully he taps in here soon, and we can get him on. Michael Mormile, what's going on with your boy? Let's see, we got Goyo, Big Lou. Who's Mikey? Where's he from? Okay, so Mikey DiLeonardo Jr. is his father was a captain in the Gambino family. He was, some say he was John Gotti Jr.'s right hand man. And he was also related to Frankie DeCicco, who's on the thumbnail. That thumbnail is John Gotti and Frankie DeCicco. That was his cousin. And Frankie DeCicco was blown up in a car bomb April 13th, 1986. So his anniversary just passed 37 years ago. He was killed in New York. They're New Yorkers. And so he's here. He's basically here to talk about some of the things that have been said about his cousin, as far as what Sammy the Bull has put out there. So he's coming in now. Add the stream. Here we go. What's going on, Mikey? Thanks for tapping in. So I was just giving down to what somebody asked who you were, a homeboy of mine from this area, from my area. He was like, "Who's Mikey Jr. Where's he from?" Because we always, from homie, where you from? That's one thing we always ask. But anyways, I was just lightweight explaining who you were, who you're related to, and I didn't get to finish what I was speaking of about when it came to Frankie DeCicco. I was basically saying that you're here to maybe add on to, maybe push back against some things that was said about him, maybe by Sammy the Bull, and also maybe some things that you've heard from other family members, old timers in the family, regarding some of the situation that happened with him, as far as the untimely death and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, we were talking the other night. We had some questions and stuff like that.
Right. So, just so everybody that don't know, like Goyo asked, this is Michael Jr. right here. Sometimes some people call him Mikey, some people call him Mikey Jr., some people call him Michael Jr. I usually call him Mike Jr. or Mikey Jr. and he's out of Brooklyn, New York originally, and he's been on here once with me, and we talked boxing, and that's what we're gonna do more of that in the future as well. But since I did a video the other day on, I kind of like it kind of like was a hypothetical question, like if it was true what Sammy said, what Frankie DeCicco told him about John Gotti, if he behaved a certain way, that they would take things in their own hands and end them pretty much. And so Mikey got with me and said, let me there's a few things I might want to say. So that's what we're here doing now today. So
yeah. What I want
so he's in there, right? So go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to say Saturday, are you going to join us before the fight?
Oh, yeah. It looks like it. It looks like it.
Come on. All right, cool. All right, good. We'll talk a little about that. So that'll be nice.
Right. We got Richard Dowling tapping in from Ireland. That's cool. What's going on, Richard?
What time is it over there?
So it's 7:11. 7-11, even backdoor little joke. So, so basically what happens, I end up getting caught. So, like I said, I apologize. I'm always running late when it comes to these lives, man. But I was trying to get the new dog we got situated because she came with an infection, a yeast infection in the paws, and it's kind of common for some dogs. I never had a dog that had it before, and so I got caught up trying to mix the concoctions for that. So it's like home remedies. You know what I mean? You take some apple vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and mix it with some Dawn dish soap. And so I was making the bottles. So I got caught up doing that, feeding the dogs, cleaning up after them, stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? It's work. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. So I can't complain because they take care of you. You know what I mean? The dogs take care of you.
How's she doing? Did you give her a
bath? So that's where we end up, because my cousin's works and then I work, and he's going to be off tomorrow, so he's going to go ahead and give her one, because he has a step-in shower, a stand-up shower with ceramic tiles, and he's got the hose, so he's going to go ahead and hook her up tomorrow. So, you know what I mean? Good. So yeah, so I just got everything ready for him to use, so it's all good.
Yeah, it makes
so you got Brad Nicolaitis saying, "Hey, Junior."
What's up, Brad? Brad's a good friend.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate you coming. Who's that, Mr. Perfect? Or who's that picture of? D. Snyder? Or who is that?
Which one?
His avatar.
Who, Brad?
Yeah, that's D. Snyder, ain't it?
No, I'm pretty sure that's him.
Oh, okay. I thought that was D. Snyder from Twisted Sister.
He's all jacked up. That's why.
Oh, okay. Not bad. That's what's up. Yeah, so we got Stiffy, we got Goyo, Tracy. Tracy's tapping in from London too, so that's cool. She's from over the pond. So we got Richard from Ireland and Tracy from England. We got some New Yorkers. We got some people from California here, so it's cool.
Nice.
I don't know where Vito's from. Yeah, so we got people from all over. So that's what's up. You know what I mean? I like to see that.
Brad's from Australia, so.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's and that's a couple people that tap in from Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Nelson just tapped in. What's going on, Nelson? Yeah, that's the original. Our original channel is the No Fly Zone. That's the original channel we started with. We still have it. We just, we got people's got work going on and things like that. So it's kind of like a little on standby right now, but we'll be back on. So let me ask. So the one thing is here is that they always, you got Sammy. So you got Sammy now, 30 years. What is it? 33 years after they got busted, right? Well, it'll be 33 years in December. That they got picked up, right? The administration of the Gambinos got picked up on December 11th, I think, 1990. And then he decides to flip in November of 91, right? So he always, he's starting to tell different stories now than what he has put in his book. You know what I'm saying? And that was highlighted on your dad's and RJ's channel, right? Yeah. So I always wondered about that. Like, now it's starting to come to light that, he's doing a lot of lying, and he's trying to change history and stuff like that. That's a proven fact, right? It's proven that, because why would you say one story in a book and then tell a different story now when you have your podcast, right? And then also on top of that, you gave statements in the 302s that now you're changing and you're saying that, Louis Melito did it and, things like of that nature. So in my opinion, his credibility is kind of shot, right? Is there some things he's telling the truth about? Of course, I believe so. But some of the bigger things, he's one of those guys that always like to make himself look like the hero, right? And a lot of these guys do that. They make themselves look like the hero at the end of the day. They're the righteous ones and everybody else is the no good people, right? Yeah. Anybody that knows me, now this is a different situation because it's a proven fact that these guys, that he's, that he cooperated. But, anybody that knows me knows that if it's not a proven fact, P-dubs, which are paperwork, that I don't call people, I won't call nobody that. But this situation is different. But I'm still not the type of person that's going to say, oh, F that rat, stitch this, stitch that. I don't do all that, right? Because at the end of the day, what's the purpose of doing that here on a platform, right? If you're one of those people that want to handle that business when you see them people in person, and by all means, handle your business, right? But I was schooled differently, and anyways, at this point in my life, I didn't change my life, and I'm not doing those type of street things anymore. So at the end of the day, none of that really pertains to me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I have this channel. That's why I speak on certain things, but then certain things I don't speak on because I still have a certain code that I roll with that I won't, I won't cross because at the end of the day, it's not my business to be talking about, right? There's certain things you just don't speak about when it comes to, certain things. You just don't speak about it. Now, things that happened 20 years ago in the past, that's history. It's been documented 1,000 times over. That's different. You know what I mean? But like I said, again, this guy's credit, I believe, is shot. I believe when it comes to bigger issues or bigger things he tells in the stories, he's embellishing them. He's putting a 20 on a 2. And I don't honestly believe that, some of these, I believe he had conversations with Frankie, and I believe they did have certain things planned out and things of that nature. But yeah, at the time he was on the bottom of, he was just a soldier at the time, right? He was involved with some things, but he was a soldier. You know what I mean? He didn't have a big say. And there was a lot of guys that were above him on the seniority list. You know what I mean? From Brooklyn. Besides just overall. You know what I mean? So, I know you weren't born yet when all this happened, but still, this is still your family. This is still your blood relative. Yeah, and there's still DeCiccos that are still alive to this day. I believe you told me he has 1 or 2 sisters that are still alive, right?
Yeah, there's one sister. It's actually Frankie's aunt. She's still alive, believe it or not.
Okay, yeah, my bad. It's Joe Butter and Georgie and his sister.
His sister.
Right, which is his aunt, right?
Aunt,
okay, so
he loved everybody.
Right. So, I want to kind of hear what, kind of go over what your thoughts and your perspective on some of the things that's been said. Nothing's been said about Frankie in the bad light.
Yeah. But I know
everybody says he's a serious dude. He meant business. I've heard your dad even talk about it. About Frankie. He was well respected. He was a tough dude. You know what I mean? He done a little time, and he kind of moved up the ladder kind of quick, I guess, once he was put on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What have you? Go ahead.
What we say the other day when Angelo went to Sammy, right, and then he talked to Frankie, and he said that if Frankie told him if John got out of line, that they would kill him with anything, right? That's what we were saying.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Listen, anything's possible, right? But I don't know. I can't see it because Frankie's father was close with John too. It wasn't just Frankie, so they know him going way back. So listen, could he have said that to him? Possibly, but I really don't see it because when you think about it, he lost his life for John. So he's saying that I'm going to kill this guy in a year. And then a couple of months later, he got blown up for him. So that would be pretty ironic.
Right. And then, if people don't know, that's why I try to find the best pictures I could find. But unfortunately, when I posted them on the community post, they didn't center right. You know what I mean? But the first one I put, the first one I had put was of them in I believe they were in, I think they were in state. No, I don't remember what facility they were in, but there's a picture with Frankie as a young man. He's skinny. He's a lot thinner than he became as he got older. And there's John, and I believe Angelo, I believe, is in the picture as well. And they're doing time, and John got some glasses, some sunglasses on, some shit. Well, what we call over here shades, right? I don't know what.
In front of everybody, they're like this.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I put that picture up, and then there's other important pictures that he's in with I think there's one with Carlo Gambino, another one with Paul Castellano, and you know what I mean. So he was a heavy hitter. Somebody asked the question here: Did Georgie pass in prison like butter?
No,
Sure
Georgie went to prison for a couple, I think, 16 months, something like that, in his old age when he was I think in his 70s, and no, he died at home. Right,
because I seen some. There were some pictures too of him, and you could tell he was a lot older looking in the picture. So I don't know how much longer he made it after that, but it looked like it was court proceedings, the pictures, and then there was some of Joe Butter and Mikey, not Mikey, Jackie. Yeah, Jackie D'Amico. Jackie knows. Yeah, there was some pictures of them together, and it looked like at the courthouse too. And then Georgie's son's still alive, right?
Yeah, Bobby's still alive. Probably Frankie's first partner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so he's still alive. He's still in. Is he in New York or is he in? Florida.
No, he's in New York.
Okay.
He's out here. He actually got shot 15 years ago. He got shot in Brooklyn and he lived, and nobody ever found out why.
Wow.
Mystery.
Well, you hear. What's his name? What's his name talks about him quite a bit. I don't know if he still does, but he has some episodes where he spoke a lot about him. Jimmy's channel. He had a lot of stories about him. I guess they got along real well at one point, and then I guess they had a falling out or something.
Yeah,
because if anybody don't know, the DeCiccos are from Brooklyn. They're from Bensonhurst, so East. I believe. Are you aware? Did they go back? Because I've heard different things, and I've heard Joe Butter say that they went way back with John and knew them as kids too. So if that was the case, that would have been East New York, Brooklyn, right?
Well,
or is that still considered Bensonhurst?
No, that's almost Queens, to be honest with you. That's like right on the border of Queens.
Right.
That's actually that's where Goodfellas takes place. That whole area.
Okay.
That's Sutter Avenue, Pitkin Avenue, Linden. So you know what, I think John was born in 1940.
1940 in the Bronx.
Yeah. And
Frankie's born in 1935.
And Sammy was born in 45, so Sammy was actually a little younger than that. So,
right, exactly.
There was a type of relationship. I think it was through Neil, to be honest with you. I think it was through Neil and Frankie's father, Boozy.
Okay. Yeah, Boozy.
Yeah, because Neil was close to John and Angela, right? And Boozy was really close with Neil, so I think that's where that relationship was, and I think it does go pretty far back. Probably to John's, late teens. I'm just guessing, but that's what if I had to.
Right. Okay, and then I think too the same thing goes with Fat Andy, right? Fat Andy was from, I believe, East New York as well originally. Then they moved out to Queens, and I think because he was tight with Della Croce, I think that's how John got tight with them as well. I believe, you know what I mean? Because I know that I've heard the stories saying Nicky Carrazzo was really tight with Fat Andy too, but then Nicky Carrazzo and John Gotti and them used to bump heads as teenagers. 17, I guess, 18, 16, 15. I'm not sure exactly the age, but they always refer to teenagers. You know what I mean?
That section of Brooklyn
is
pretty far from where we are. A little bit of a distance.
Okay, now what's in between there? Do you still got like downtown and all that? Is in between?
No, downtown's the other way. So that's all south.
Okay.
Downtown. It's funny they call downtown Brooklyn downtown.
Yeah.
But when you look at the map, it's really North Brooklyn. It's not down. Where we were was more south. We would have been really downtown if you look at it that way. But yeah, downtown Brooklyn's like Court Street, Carroll Gardens. That like with the
Carroll Gardens. Right. Okay.
All those guys.
So East New York. When they say East New York, that's Brooklyn. But like you said, it's almost borderline Queens. Isn't there a name? Isn't it called like City Line or something like that? Is that what it's called?
No, that I don't know. I'm not sure.
I've heard it referenced as like I believe City Line or something line, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
Good night. Good night, Tracy. Yeah, she's in England. She said it's 3:30 in the morning.
Oh wow.
She can get some rest. Have a great evening. Chat soon. Much love to you and all. Whatever. I didn't know what she meant when she put double X in the thing in the other community post, and I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? Because I don't know if somebody was talking crap. I didn't know. You know what I mean? I was just being honest. Like, what's that supposed to mean?
Yeah,
and she said it means like a stand-up person, I guess, or genuine or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah,
something like that. It was positive, whatever it was. That's for sure.
But Brad,
Dragon, what's going on, Dragon?
Brad made me laugh. Look at Brad's comment. That made me laugh pretty good. That's why I was smiling before.
He said, Junior, your dad said that if John had found out that Sammy was a hairdresser, then John never would have made him a cat. Yeah, that's funny. I can't get over how. I mean, here you've already made statements. You got 302s out there. You got a book that was written, and now you're out here giving a totally, you're telling a totally different story. I guess it's just whatever rocks your boat. I don't know, man. But the fact is that he at the age he is now, he was a young dude back then. He was in his early to mid 40s back then.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he was one of the youngest dudes, at that position that he had. As far as even a captain, he was a lot younger than most of the captains and most of the people there. So anybody that was around back then, most of them are either gone or they're still active. They're not going to speak on nothing. He knows that, so he's going to try to get away with changing history. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey Lou, we got to get you on the Patreon. We got a. I found.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I got to get over there. I've been.
Gotta get on.
Yeah.
Gotta get on.
I got to get over there. Yeah, I've just been hella busy, man. I even have to take care. I got to do a couple courses at work. One's a sexual harassment course, and another one I got to get certified because I'm in a supervisor position. So I have to always redo that. I have to do that every couple of years. A new sexual harassment course, and I also got to do a new leadership course. Like basically, they ask you questions like what to do if certain scenarios pop up. Like if you have two guys under you that end up getting into it, and or you and a subordinate get into it, or somebody that works under you, how do you handle the situation? So there's two courses I got to do, and they're both 2-hour courses, and they actually pay you for them too for doing it. They pay you 2 hours wage, and you can do them while you're on the clock. It doesn't matter, but I ain't got around to doing them yet. You know what I mean? I just been the job's been. I've been literally burnt out, man. Like as soon as I get home, I like fall asleep. You know what I mean? And it's just like, man, it's kicking my ass being behind the wheel for like 10 hours, straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, driving really kicks it.
Yeah, because I commute, right? And it's about an hour to an hour 20 minutes, depending how the flow of traffic is, right? And then 7 hours on the clock, right? And then another hour and a half driving back, sometimes 2 hours, depending on the flow of traffic. And you're talking straight, that's why I don't take breaks and all that, because the quicker I get done with my routes, I get to go home and I get my 8. So, I'm not really tripping on all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
I'll just take a little break though to let my dogs use the restroom a couple of times and give them some water, because I take them to work with me. They roll with me everywhere. You know what I mean? Mike, What high school did you go to, and were there a lot of wise guy sons you went to school with?
Yeah, I went to high school in Staten Island. I graduated from St. Finbar's on Bath Avenue in 8th grade, and then I went right to Staten Island. I went to Catholic school for 2 years, and I went to a, I guess you'd call it a private school for 2 years.
I think that goes without saying. I don't even think that second part. That's probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it wasn't a private school like you're thinking. It was more like, it's more like for the people that didn't want to go to school. That's where you went and you got your diploma. Something like that.
Well, the second part of it is, did you go to school with any wise guy's sons?
Oh yeah, they were everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. That's why I was like, that went what I was saying. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. That area is just Long Island, Staten Island. Well, I don't know about Long Island still, but I know at one point they had a lot of stuff going on out there. You know what I mean?
I think Long Island. But,
yeah. So, and then that was another part too of the storytelling was, and me and you kind of we spoke about it a little bit. We didn't speak on it much. Was the fact when that went down at Sparks House, Sparks Steakhouse.
Yeah.
That he said that him and John were in the car down the street, and
Yeah.
I don't believe that was true. I don't believe it's true because if something went wrong, why would you want to be right there on the scene to get busted? I mean, either way, by the cops, or if something went wrong with Paul and Tommy, now they know you were in on it, and what are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess we can never know that, right? Because
yeah, we could never know that. Well, I mean, he says it happened. He was there. You know what I mean? But like I said, I don't buy a lot of stuff he says. You know what I mean?
what did he say? That they were parked directly across the street?
Not directly, but down the way a little bit. I think down the way and on the opposite side. And he said that a cop came by. Some cops came by or something.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they said they had a perfect view of it.
Right, and then because remember he said he had the walkie-talkie. So when he seen the Lincoln pull up, he told the shooters, the backup shooters, basically he orchestrated the whole thing. He told them when to move, and and then he said after it went down, he said him and John rode by real slow and looked at the bodies in the street. You know what I mean? So I mean,
that's risky.
I could see him there. But I don't see why John would be there. You know what I mean? It's just because, like I said, if something went wrong,
right? Unless John wanted to be there.
Unless he wanted to be there, but I don't think it would have been smart, strategically wise if something went wrong. You know what I mean? But hey, like you said, we'll never really know. But I mean, it's something that I would debate like I am now. You know what I mean? I would push back on that.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean? Only
definitely something to think about.
Right, because if it was me, I wouldn't want to be there. Like I said, if something went wrong, I'm already supposedly in hot water because my crew's doing something that is taboo, right? And they've already got caught. And I got another guy in my crew that's, bad mouthing the boss and different people. Other people are on tapes that were caught on tape at his house. And he's being given directives to hand over those tapes. And he's saying he's not doing it. Neil could only buy so much time, and then look at Neil dies. Exactly 2 weeks before they kill him. He passed on the 2nd, right? Yeah, December 2nd, 1985. And they decided to move on him 14 days later. So
yeah, I don't think Paul was going to kill him. I think they made him.
I kind of don't think so. I kind of don't think so either because of the heat that he had on him already with the different cases. But I do see them. I do see him demoting them and breaking up his crew and sending them to different crews.
Yeah,
I do see that. And some guys, you know how it is. Some guys' egos are. To get broken down from a captain down to a soldier, that could be devastating to some people. You know what I mean? Just like getting shelled is especially back then. Nowadays, it's like
it's commonplace now.
Like, yeah, it's like the last measure now. Instead of getting whacked, they do that now, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, better off. These people aren't getting killed.
Right. So. That's one thing. That's one. Those are a couple of things that I always,
yeah. Well, how about there was one other thing as well. How they said that bomb was meant for John, it wasn't meant for Frankie. I don't believe that.
Right.
I don't believe that.
And that's good you brought that up because, okay, so supposedly it was Vic Amuso, Bobby Amuso, his brother, right, and Casso sitting in a car somewhere. Watching while I forgot the other guy's name, but he was in the military. He had experience with making bombs and stuff. Okay, Frankie Hartz, if I'm not mistaken, Frankie Hartz was the one that happened to walk to the car with Frankie to get him a business card from a lawyer, right? And I believe that he was a Lucchese, if I'm not mistaken. So these guys also blow up one of their own guys. I mean, blow his foot off or whatever happened, his toe or half his foot. He was injured and I heard his hearing got messed up too. So how do you make such a mistake like that? You know what I mean? Very careless, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Like if that was to happen, people would have to, I mean, well, those dudes were high-ranking members at that time, but I'm saying if somebody was to make a mistake like that, they would be in big trouble. You know what I mean? They would be in big trouble for not doing it correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think they care. Not those guys. Look who you were dealing with. You were dealing with Gaspipe. That guy didn't really care about anything.
Yeah, he didn't. But at the same time, yeah, and that's another thing too. That's another thing I wanted to kind of touch on is like when it comes to that relationship with those two guys, was he really playing Vic Musso like that? Like, because that's what they say, right? They say that he was doing little things, killing people, getting permission to kill people, or just giving the permission to kill people. Well, was he always running it past the boss, or was he manipulating the boss to, give the green light on certain things? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a trip.
That's true.
Who killed Frank? Who killed Frank? Okay, you already answered it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you remember that Frankie Hartz, was he a Lucchese? I'm pretty sure that's who he was.
He was a Genovese or a Lucchese, but I know he wasn't with them. He was with somebody else. He was either Genovese or Lucchese.
Right. And so either way, both of those Borgatas were in on that move, right? On that move. So it was done. This is a dude in good standings, and here you just blow off part of his foot and damage his hearing.
Yeah, no, nobody talks.
Right.
It's true.
Right. So I mean, how do you even? I mean, what the guy? Where's the guy go to put a beef in for that? You know what I mean?
Don't.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, right? Because they say you're not supposed to put your hands on somebody or anything, any type of way you try to hurt somebody that's in their life is a great no taboo where you could be, your life could be taken for that. Well, look at the Sopranos, for example. When Tony, he's the boss, right? He punches, he smacks, what's his name, or he punches him, Ralph Cifaretto. And what's Ralph tell him? Like, what are you, crazy? I'm a made guy. And he's telling the boss that, like the boss don't know that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
right? He ends up killing him.
Right, he ends up killing him. But before that, he felt that he was greatly in the wrong for putting his hands on him, which I mean, from my understanding, the way that works, he is. He was in the wrong, right? He shouldn't. That's not the way to handle it, right?
I know, right?
And then especially in front of other soldiers and other members, you know what I mean? You just don't do that. You take them to the side and handle it. You don't put them on blast like that. Tyler says he was a Lucchese, so Frankie Hartz was a Lucchese. So
here we go, Tyler.
Well, there you go. There, so he couldn't put a beef in because couldn't find out his higher ups. The administration. 2 members of the administration were in on it. Yeah, so where was that going to go?
They would have killed him for real.
Right. And then those dudes, and then I did a little video the other day about this, and this is not the first time I spoke on it either. Yeah. Is that, everybody wants to always blame it on John, and it was John's fault. John single-handedly brought them down and this and that, and that's, come on, that's ridiculous to think that, right? Because you had, during that time, you had Casso and Casso and Musso killing a bunch of people for nothing, right? You had Philadelphia, they were doing their thing up there in Philly, Nicky Scarfo, and then you had the Colombo Third War, and they're killing a lot of people, right? So all that's going on all around that same time, you know what I mean? From the late 80s up until, 92, 93, something like that. And then, and then they say, well, he was loose, he was too flamboyant, he got caught on tape, and all the bosses prior to him from all the families got caught on tape. You know what I mean? It just happened. And then you had the RICO. The RICO is what really, got guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
look at Paul's house. We'll never even know what kind of tapes were there. He never went to court. If he would have went to court, those tapes would have came out. Who knows what he said? Could have been 20 times worse than what John was saying on tape.
Right. Right. Because at the end of the day, boss or not, if you're talking down on your soldiers behind their backs and calling them names or whatever you might, maybe you have your own little nicknames for them with your own inner circle, that you're still going to get embarrassed. Like, look what happened. He knew that the agents knew about his, his pump and all that shit, and they knew that he was impotent and all that shit. He got embarrassed. Remember, they said that when he was in the cop car being taken downtown to be booked, that it came over the radio that they had bugged him or whatever. Let's see, was John really a bad boss, like Sammy said? I like to hear good stories, but Sammy keeps, So I think when it comes to that, I think that he was a different, he was different. He was a street dude. He was a hardcore hard. Back in the day, they were all really involved with the truck jackings and all that stuff, right? They were the blue collar wing of the family, right? Where they were, doing the out there in the trenches when it comes to making money. When I heard Sammy tell a story that when he took over, that Sammy had to go around and go check in with all the captains to find out what their rackets were because, John didn't know. You know what I mean? And why would he know? He was a captain. He wasn't he wasn't on the administration. So why would he know what other captains are doing? That's their business. You know what I mean? So, right. So I wouldn't say he was a bad boss. Maybe he carried himself. Just like with everything, man. Not everybody's a perfect boss. You know what I mean? You're always gonna, you're gonna have guys that have their little riffs or bones to pick with you over different things. You know what I mean? And he had his own way of things and his own way of doing things. And
everybody makes mistakes. You know what I mean? They all made a lot of mistakes. I think he was just in the right place at the wrong time. You know what I mean? It was like a culmination of the cases before him with the commission, because you could say that brought down the model. You know what I mean? Why him? He was one guy. They took down all 4 or 5 people previously to him. They all were on tape. So I think it was a culmination of that and the media, because as you know what the media could do nowadays, even back then, whatever the media wants you to look at, you look at, and they'll make a big deal out of it. So, and that's what they did with him. Who knows if the feds were in on it with the media? You never know. They could have said, shine the light.
Yeah.
So
I would say, the problem. This is the thing. The people that some people had they were tripping on was the fact that, when the cameras came around him, he didn't do what most of them used to do: hide their face, put their jacket over their head and try to walk through them. He would just be him, right? Now, the only thing I would say is, like, if he was really signing autographs and all that, that's not, you shouldn't be doing that, right? But, even though it's a secret society, they knew, as long as you weren't out there saying, yeah, I'm so-and-so, yeah, I'm the boss of the Gambinos, or I'm this or that, that stuff of it being secret was over. You know what I mean?
Look at Lucky Luciano. Most people don't even know he was writing a book when he died. So what does that make him? Yeah. What does that make him if he were to write a book about it? He's got to be worse than right?
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying that he was supposed to, that he was meeting Martin. I think Martin something wrote the book, spelled the book, right? Martin something he was supposed to be making a deal to make a movie or something like that. Yeah. And then what I remember was Carlo Gambino sent word back, and I think Vito Genovese maybe too, but I think it was Carlo Gambino by that time. They sent word back to him like, no, it's a no-go. And then I guess he was still maybe going to do it, and that's when he came up with this heart attack. And so, you got some people that, right, attack. They say that, right, exactly. So, but then it also too, yeah.
I was going to say, when you look at it in that light, how could you? People praise Lucky Luciano. He's not looked at as a rat or some, you know what I mean? But look what he was going to do. So very objective.
Right, and then wasn't Persico going to do something too? I think, and then remember Persico represented himself, and he kind of admitted to being a member, but he didn't admit to being the boss, so they were mad at him for somewhat allocuting. So here's a question right here: Did Frankie see action in the Korean War?
You know what? I had no idea he was in the military until I seen that picture recently. I didn't even know that picture existed until I was going through everything. I don't know. That's a great question. There's really nobody around to ask.
He would have been 50. He's born in 1935, right? Was he old enough to see the Korean War? 1950, he would have been 15.
Yeah, Korean War was in the 50s, right? The Korean War was like the late 50s.
Was it late 50s or early? I thought it was early 50s.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm probably gonna brush up on my history. Let's look that up right
See
now.
that right now. Let me check. Let's see. What were the years of the Korean War?
You're right, 1950.
1950 to 53. So he would have been barely. I don't know what his birthday is, but he would have been 18 if his birthday was before July. So I don't think. Yeah, it probably would have been Vietnam. No.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if you've seen that question.
I mean, as far as actually seeing action, you know what I mean? Let's see what else is said here. Did Frankie? Okay, I read that. Was John really? Okay, I read that too. Secret Society, you said it. And then Daddy Longleg said Banano. What about Banano? Oh, he's talking about the book.
Oh,
I think he's talking about the book. But that was later. That was what, 82, I think, right? 83 the book came out?
Right before the commission case, I think.
Right, because they used a lot of that to, a lot of that, what they read in that book, Giuliani, was a big history lesson for him. You know what I mean? He took from that book big time.
Oh yeah.
Did Chin not like John? Yeah, he didn't like him. I don't believe he liked him.
So
I don't think Persico. I heard Persico didn't like him from guys that were in there with Persico. Then I heard that Gigante didn't like Persico either, and it probably was because of the court proceeding, right?
Yeah, I think so.
From my understanding, Persico represented himself, but he had, like I mentioned earlier, he admitted to being a member of Cosa Nostra, but not the boss, and he kind of like made it sound like Ralph Scopo was the boss. So that's why Joey Scopo, the son, was on the Vic Arena side trying to push back on the. I'm pretty sure that had something to do with it. But then if you look at the Gigante thing though. Now so here you're out there like a babbling buffoon, right? Talking to yourself, acting like you're bots, right? Talking to fire hydrants, talking to parking meters, talking to the payphone. How does that look good? I mean, I understand you're trying to trick them and it worked for a while, but how could that possibly look good for you? I mean, there had to be a lot of guys that were like talking shit behind his back about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure everybody was nervous of him, I think too.
Right. And then you had him say, I guess Sammy the Bull tells a story that they have a little meeting and John Gotti tells him that he made his son junior and he's like, oh, I feel sorry for him. But then he's using his kids later on to pass messages and look what happens. He has to admit that he was playing the role because the government threatened to put them in jail.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Right. So how did that didn't look good? How'd that look any good? How'd that look good? How'd that sound? None of that. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Big Lou, Loco, I sent my Simo. See, Bonanno spoke with Barbara Walters. I think Bonanno spoke with. It was the other guy, Weaver, Mike Weaver, some Weaver.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was. But anyways, so that movie, the movie with the HBO one with Armand Desante.
Yeah.
Right. That movie, that was a good movie, right? It's a good movie to me, but people that actually knew these guys, they kind of said, yeah, it was a good movie, but then you heard some people saying, oh, that really didn't sound like him, or he really didn't do this, or whatever.
Well, that's not any movie.
Yeah, right, exactly. But they kind of like that movie. They messed up the characters. Joey and Gallo was nowhere in that movie. It was Piney was in his position. Frankie DeCicco was I believe he took over for Piney. Matter of fact, right? Piney retires in the movie. And Frankie, Frankie DeCicco. Yeah, so Piney retires in the movie, and he's played by Junior Soprano, Dominic. I don't know how to say his name correctly, Chianese or something like that. So he's playing Joe Piney, but Joe Piney was a captain all the way up until Frankie gets blown up, and then he becomes, I think, the acting underboss, right? And then Joey and Gallo stays on for a little bit, and then eventually they both go off to prison. But in the movie, they got Frankie as the consigliere, and nothing happens to him. I don't think they showed him getting blown up or anything, if I remember correctly.
Oh, really? That's a big part to leave out.
Yeah, right. And it was a big part. In my opinion, it's a big part to leave out the real player, the real people in those positions. You know what I mean?
Bless you.
They had him at the wrong position, and then they had Piney in there. Like I said, and I think it would have been more better if they would have used, the right guys, the right names.
I gotta watch it. A good friend of mine, just watched it for the first time. I think the other night. So I gotta. See, everybody tells me it's one of the better ones out of all of them. So.
Yeah, Chin would rock you to sleep. Yeah, that's what they say. He didn't play around. There was another one I remember. It was called was it Get Gotti? There was a couple ones. Oh no. Yeah, there's one called Get Gotti, but there's another one, The Boss of Bosses, and that's the one where Chaz Palminteri plays Big Paul.
Chaz is good.
Yeah, he plays him, and then that one's not bad. That one's okay, but I think the HBO one's probably the best.
HBO does.
And then other than that, yeah. And then Sopranos, I was hooked on the Sopranos. I think it would have been cool if they would have kept going, because I mean the show was so good. They only ended up going 6 seasons, I believe it was 6 seasons.
Yeah, no, the show was
6 seasons.
Look at the ending.
The Gotti one is the best. I seen that one too. Yeah, and then that new one they got with Travolta. I put it on a couple times. I fell asleep, so I never really got to watch it. But it kind of starts off weird, where he's, leaving the pen to go to a dentist, and he's supposedly going to whack somebody. You know what I mean?
That's strange.
Yeah, I like Donnie Brasco. Yeah. So I'm surprised though. I'm surprised that they haven't made movies of some of these guys, like the Chin, like what's his name, Carmine. Maybe even some of the movies where they show Joe the Boss and all that, how that worked out. D'Aquila and all them guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They got that picture of D'Aquila dead. I thought that was a fake picture when I seen it, but apparently it just came out like last year. Did you see that one?
No. So let me ask you this, because since we brought him up, is he related to you guys, or is it him and your family from Sicily go way back? Or something like that.
No blood relation. I'm pretty sure my great grandfather was his captain, and he was actually godfather to my grandfather, I think.
Okay.
My father.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
So as far as you know, do they go back to Sicily though, from the same area, or was it a New York thing with them?
I think it does go back to Sicily, because my great grandfather was definitely going back and forth to Sicily, 100%.
Right.
So yeah,
right, because
goes all the way back.
Right, because the way that works usually is if you're from the same area, the same, not only are you paisans, you usually call each other family, even though you're not blood, right? That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
And that goes for us too. Like, if you're from the same little, pueblo or the little Providence municipal, they call it municipalities. You could call each other cousins. You know what I mean? I know the Italians are big on that too. Especially if you're from the same, little village. You know what I mean? In Palermo or in Corleone, or you know what I mean? So
yeah, Sicily's a small
definitely, definitely something I like history. I like learning about other things. Besides me liking this genre. And the reason I think I'm, I relate to it a lot, because some of the stuff we go through over here with what we have over here is so similar. You know what I mean? Because they took from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, I understand.
Is loose from my? No, I'm not. No, I'm not from New York. I'm from California. I'm from Northern California.
How's the weather out there right now?
I'm in a tank top right now.
That's beautiful.
I'm in the valley though, so it gets you always get a strong wind here. It comes off the delta, off the water.
Yeah.
And
real strong winds. But we've been having really strong winds in the past few weeks, though. Where not so much now, but like 2-3 weeks, about 3 weeks ago, I would say it was doing damage to people's properties.
Really?
You know, blowing trees down, and they were landing in the cars and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
so nice.
So yeah, yeah. It's just I forgot what the other thing I was gonna say about Frankie too. So that's like what 4 points we made already on when it comes to Frankie in a short matter of time here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing is for sure about him is that he outranked his dad. Right? He was.
Oh yeah.
He was more of a money maker. He what?
You said he outranked his father?
His own father, yeah. He was
yeah.
I believe that was because his dad. I think his dad was a big drinker. I think too, though. But besides that,
boozy.
Right? Boozy, right? But besides that, Frankie had the knack to make money. He was a hustler, right? He was an earner. You know what I mean? Not everybody. You know, you got guys. I'm not really sure how those old sayings are, but you got some that'll say something like, "He's such a good hustler that he can squeeze a couple quarter," or how's that go? I forgot how that old saying goes, but basically you can squeeze a couple pennies and make money. You know what I'm saying? And some guys just got the gift. They got the gift for that. You know, other guys don't. And so
he was well liked. Reason too. You know, you hear that
right?
a lot.
And he was a powerhouse, and he had a good reputation. A lot of guys liked him, like you said. You know what I mean? So, right. And then like with George, you know, he became a captain too, but it was later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he got made after Frankie, his own uncle. Imagine that.
Yeah, right.
Think about
that. I'm not really sure about that, but you know, a lot of those guys fell in that because of the books being closed for all those years. So, you know, I think it was closed from 57 to 76. So you had a lot of guys getting in there in 76, a lot of 77. A lot of guys in 78, you know, where they started, because I believe the way it is that, like, say for the Gambinos, for example, they have, you know, 250 made people, you know, Genovese, 250 made people, and then when guys die, you know, the books were closed for almost 20 years. Guys die, they needed to replace those membership, you know what I mean? And that's what they did. And so those first couple of years, a lot of guys got in, you know, 76, 77, 78, and that's when most of these cats from the history of the 80s and early 90s, that's when most of those guys got in. You know what I mean? Other guys like Persico and, you know, Della Croce, dudes like that, they got in way back in the 50s. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Before the books closed.
50s, yeah.
Right. So same thing with you know, John Gotti. He got made second after Genie. Genie was on the street. He was busted, so Genie got put on first. And then when Gotti got out, then he got put on. I think it was 77. He got put on.
I don't know who was first.
But what always stuck out with me about Gotti was that you know, in the history and books and things of that nature, documentaries and stuff, they say that he was the acting captain in the Charlie Wagons crew, right? Charlie Wagons, I think, was fighting a case or something, so he was, you know, occupied with court and things like that, and John was made his acting captain, and John wasn't even made at the time, and he's the acting captain, so that means he's telling the actual made guys what to do.
Yeah.
Right? There has to be made guys in the crew. So, I mean, if he had to have been a good leader, if they're going to make a move like that, I can't see Carmine Fatico, Charlie Wagons, the guy that's been around forever, you know what I mean, make a decision like that and be stupid about it. You know what I mean? I just don't see that.
John, from what, you know, my father said. So they, you know, it was a lot of people. So,
right.
Well, there was something to it, obviously.
Right. And so, yeah, did he make mistakes? Of course. A lot of guys made mistakes, though, you know. And so, my opinion of it, I think a lot of people are not correct, but they're not lying when they say, you know, when he would come into the room, he would command attention. You know, he had that charisma about him. He was able to command, you know, basically like, you know, I use that analogy like a comedian. You know, they got charisma. They take command of the audience. You know what I mean? Yeah, another one is a pro wrestler. Back in the day, they got charisma where everybody in the arena is watching them. You know what I mean? They came to see this guy. because he, with that old saying, he put the asses in the seats. And I believe that's the same thing with John Gotti. He was bigger than life figure, and then especially later on when he was on TV a lot, and he got bigger and bigger with the people.
Yep.
See, Bob Murray, tapping in from the future. Big Lou, respects from New Zealand. Yeah, Big Boss from New Zealand. Yeah, so that's I like that. But yeah, so that was unfortunate that it happened. But did you ever meet Patrick and them?
Patrick
Borriello?
Yeah, of course.
You know them, right? Okay, so like their father, their pops and Eddie Leno, right? So these guys, the cops, the mafia cops killed Eddie Leno on the Belt Parkway, I think it was, right?
Yeah, pull him over and just shot him up.
Right. And then Borriello, I forgot. I don't know exactly who killed him.
It was gas piping them.
Right, but who was the actual one that did it? I don't know. But yeah, I think it was gas pipe too.
Yeah.
What? Some people talk down on John for not, and Junior too, for not retaliating on those, hits. Was Sammy really pushing drugs before him and John got pinched? I don't know about that, but at one point he was. Him and Gas Pipe had business going on back in the day when they had the shrimp boats. They were bringing his stuff on the boats. That's for sure. And he denied that. And that's part of the reason why the government didn't want to use Caso at all, because it would have made their star witness look like a liar. Just to have somebody else say something different than what their star witness that put away Gotti. They're willing to make a deal with the devil. That's the way I always put it. That's how I honestly feel. Here this guy was involved with 19 murders. He did 5 years, and it wasn't even really 5 years. He did, he was in a FBI headquarters in Quantico. Being taken into town to get haircuts, being taken into town to have dinner with his wife. Agents are in the room with their guns. I mean, where's that happen? What prisons that happen at? I've been in like 10, 12 prisons, and I ain't never seen any of that. You know what I mean? So, and here I get a probation violation that sends me to prison for 4 years. You know what I mean? So they made the deal. They made a deal with the devil, bro, straight up. And he made a fool out of him. He made a fool out of him.
They beat him. That's why they changed their whole game after him. They weren't giving anybody deals like that anymore. Right,
and not only that, that was another thing you brought to light to me. I didn't know, but you had told me that because he was able to pick and choose who he wanted to. He made the deal like he didn't want to tell anybody that was directly in his crew. Because one guy was his brother-in-law, Huck. A few other guys that, after this happened, they changed up on that, and they didn't allow that to happen no more. Guys had to give up everybody. Anything they had to give it up, all of it. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
but say that's not true. I know. I seen something. An interview with somebody. He was a judge or something, and he was saying that wasn't true. That he wasn't able to pick and choose who he could give up. But when you look back and you look at the facts, you look at everybody around him. You see who didn't get locked up. If he would have gave all his information like they said, these guys would have been locked up without a doubt.
Oh yeah, his brother-in-law Eddie was involved with everything with him, and then I think he was somewhat involved in his cousin had the same name as him, right? They killed him too.
Yeah.
That was Eddie Garofalo. That was his cousin. They had the same name. Yeah, he was involved in that. Yeah, and I think Huck was involved in some murders too. I think, or some attempted murders.
Oh yeah.
And so that's not true. That's not true. Yeah. And plus, he's saying it. So why would he lie about that?
Well, he said it about my father, right? Didn't he say that in the lie he did? He goes, "I could have put you away for life." So he said it.
I didn't see it, but I heard that I heard something like that.
Yeah. So why?
Well, he brags that he could have put away, 338 instead of 38. Like, that's stupid to even say. Like, I don't even understand where your logic is, or what point are you making by saying that? You know what I mean? I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that he knew a lot of stuff that was going on, but at the end of the day, it doesn't hold any water. You know what I'm saying? You know, you still did what you did. You know, that's why, you know, at the end of the day, you know, like I've said this before, your dad, so far, it's only been your dad. And I heard Dominic Sicali say a few things here and there, basically that, basically, you know, like, no, there's no excuse. He still did what he did. And, you know, he's sick sometimes, and, you know, he wished he didn't do it. It was a time of weakness. And all that's correct. But at the end of the day, it still went down. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And, you know, you can only honor, well, not even honor, but you can only, like, give so much pats on the back about that, I guess. I don't know the right word I'm trying to look for to use that, but yeah, but at the end of the day, he's the only one that will come out and say that, you know, that he's the only one that will keep it real about it, though. All these other guys are like, oh, no, I'm not a rat. You know, I don't consider myself a rat. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. Like, you know, and I'm not knocking them, and I'm not knocking them because, yes, some of their situations are fucked up. Yes, they get done dirty. Yes, they get, you know, thrown under the bus. Yes, they get thrown out to the wolves, however you want to say it. No doubt about it. But, you know, like your dad says, you know, they took you didn't take an oath to that one individual, whoever it was that did you dirty. You know what I mean? So,
always,
you know,
turned around. You know what I mean?
Right. And two, this is another thing I always say, because I just heard somebody else speaking about this yesterday, and he was speaking more on the prison gang stuff, but nonetheless, it's still OC at the end of the day. He was saying, like, you know, people will say, well, you know what you signed up for, and there's a lot of truth to that, but there's something about that might not be true either, because at the end of the day, you know, when you come up off the streets, the way it is here in California, you come up off the streets as a gang member. Then when you go to prison, now you fall up under, you know, one of the two Latino organized crime groups, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, you don't know as coming up as a gang member first on the street, you don't know some of the stuff that's going to happen. Like, as far as the, you know, the way things are ran, the way, you know, you're supposed to listen to another man, you know, different things. But nonetheless, you know, you're not fully aware of how some things work, you know, because you might be a young man when you come in the system, but, and I'm a strong believer on this part, you know, at some point, though, you see some backstabbing, you see some treachery, you see some disloyal stuff, you know what I mean, on all levels. I don't care if it's a street gang, if it's a, you know, prison gang, you're at the beginning, you know, the low entry level, or if you're still an associate, you know what I mean, or whatever, you still see guys getting done dirty. So you know, you can't tell me that, you know, you had no idea that, you know, some of these things happen. I don't buy that one bit. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not here to knock nobody. To each his own. You know, everybody got their own stories. You know what I mean? Their own reasons why they did what they did. And like I said, I totally get why they do sometimes what they do. But at the end of the day, you know, they'll still have to answer if anybody ever comes out after them. It just is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and, you know,
good point.
Yeah, I mean, and as long as I can deal with, you know, I don't, like I said, I don't come out here saying, oh, F you, you're a rat, fucking stitches, get stitches, and die. You know, like some of these people that just talk it out of their ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they just got to handle their business when they got to handle
right.
it.
Right, because we know at the end of the day, most of these people that run their mouths like that, they're not going to bust a grape if they happen to be on say a subway, and they find out the guy sitting next to him is a weirdo or he's told on somebody. They're not going to do that to him. They're probably going to get up and move and get away from him. You know what I mean? That's about probably as further as it's going to go. You know, and I'll bet big money on that.
Yeah, no. You know? But yeah, Lou. So I'm gonna take off. The baby just woke up. I'm gonna get him back to sleep.
Yeah, well, that's about as long as I wanted to go to tonight. It was like 40 minutes to an hour. We've been on about an hour and 5. We could continue another one, or
absolutely,
you know, the next time you come on. Yeah, but I appreciate you coming on, man.
Appreciate you.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. I appreciate our friendship that we've developed thus far.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, and it's been cool. You know, having the pleasure of talking to you now and then, and talking about things, personal things, sports things, any kind of things. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. I might go. I'll stay on for a little bit because I got a good little crowd in here right now, so I'll stay on for a little bit longer. But I appreciate you coming in. Handle your business and have a good night, buddy. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate everybody coming in and listening to us. But Saturday, I definitely want you to jump on. It's gonna be me and RJ. So get in there, talk some fights. You know what I mean? We'll do some.
As of right now, I'm down as of right now. It looks good.
All right, very good. Yep. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, Mike. Good night. Yeah, so everybody know. Well, I don't know if everybody knows or not, but this Saturday is Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis are fighting. So that's gonna be a good one. But man, they got a lot of stipulations on Ryan, man, about his clause. He got a no hydration clause. He can't eat or drink 3 days leading into the fight. You know what I mean? So how does a person go into a 12-round fight for a title? You know, it's a title fight. Not eating or drinking for 3 days prior to a fight, and then be expected to go there and throw blows for 12 rounds, or sooner. I mean, depending if you can get the guy out of there. You know what I mean? My nose got real clogged up. I watched the video. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Showbiz, but he does a boxing. I think he was an artist at one time. I think he was a rapper, I believe, at one time. But he brought up some good points the other day. It was a short, and I seen it of him, and he's saying that, Tank usually tanks up on people, man, where, he unloads and boom, night, you know what I mean? But he's saying that he could see Ryan, as Tank's getting ready to tank up. That's how he said it. That he could see Ryan slip some powerful, fast punches, in there, at least one in there before Tank can load up and tank on him and basically, counter punch with him before actually the punch gets countered, if that makes any sense. So in other words, he sees Tank's getting ready to unload, something vicious, and, him throw a quick, a nice right cross or a overhand right or maybe a left hook quickly and, stun him and then, just give him enough time where that punch, paralyzes, because when it hits the brain, paralyzes him for a second before he can think to do what next, and then Ryan just on him and knock him out. That's what he said, and I respect his opinion on things. He makes a lot of sense when he breaks down, some things. See, Michael Mormile said, "Stay well, family." Also, great interview, gentlemen. Sigma Male, thanks. I don't really consider these interviews though. When I have a guest on, I consider it an interaction. I try not to really ask questions. I try more like just to vibe with the person and feed off each other. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. I like to more have it like that barbershop vibe. Like when you go in the barbershop and you and the fellas are in there and you just chop it up. Whatever's going on in the news, whatever's trending in the whatever sports, and you just chill, and just shoot the shit back and forth. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to have more of that vibe than me saying, okay, so, what do you think about this? Or how was this? Or, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you have to do that, but, I like it more where it's more of an interaction. You know what I'm saying? See, yep. Just a conversation. Yeah, exactly. Just a conversation. And, that's what I be telling. Sometimes that's why, and I'll keep it real with you guys here. Because that's what I do. I don't try to bullshit and make it me out to be somebody I'm not. But I've told this to like Carlos before and Nelson. And sometimes when I do a live, I like to have a guest with me or somebody on with me because sometimes you can only say so much on a topic. Sometimes you need that other person because then they'll say something that may be opposite to what you said or cut or push back what you said. And then you feed off each other and bounce back and forth with whatever it might be, ideas or different, pros and cons to whatever the situation is or whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense to anybody. Sometimes I like that, because because sometimes if I just come on here and say maybe the chat's not really, maybe not really into it too much. Maybe they're just saying hello to each other. They're not really dropping comments or questions. Sometimes you can only say so much. You know what I mean? So I like that sometimes, if that makes any sense. excuse me. I'm hoping to have I'm hoping to do some more things here with other channels too. Great point, Lou. Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping to have to do some other things here with some other channels, such as a couple different kennels. I also reached out to a few different just different channels in general. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they answer back, sometimes they don't. You know, a lot of times you'll ask them, you'll ask them about that, but they won't even touch on that. They'll say something different. You know what I mean? Or they'll say you ask them about doing a collaboration or something, and instead of them telling you, yeah, sure, they'll just tell you something generic, or you know what I mean, or beat around the bush. Let's see, Marky Mark, what's going on? So, like, for example, I hit up what's the name one time from 60 Days In, Abner, right? And I didn't even hit him up about coming on first. I just hit him up, and he got back at me, and he sent me recorded messages, and he was cool, right? And then maybe 2 messages after we went back and forth a couple of times, I hit him up like, "Hey, what's up, man? I got this little channel, da da da." And first he asked me, "Is it YouTube or is it?" I forgot what he asked me, but YouTube was one of the questions, and then he asked another platform, I think, and I said it's a YouTube channel. And then he never told me, yeah, no. He was just like, oh yeah, I'm moving over here. I think he said he was moving to Florida, or I think that's what it was. And then he was going to be trying to get his internet, or he said something about he didn't have. Yeah, that's what it was. He said, oh, I don't have Facebook, or I don't have this. And I'm like, but I said YouTube. You know what I mean? So it was one of the things I just couldn't get. He didn't give me an answer. He just beat around the bush. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Let's see, Marky. I watched the rerun of last night. You had me crying. What show was it? Man, my nose got hella clogged. What show did he have you laugh? What show did he have you crying in, Michael? I haven't seen Mikey in a couple of days. Mikey, I was catching Mikey's lives every day. Now I haven't seen one since. Let's see, what's today? Today's Wednesday. I think the last one I seen was Monday or Sunday. Blue on left. Oh, okay, on lefty. Can you have scars on for? Yeah. Well, not unfortunately. I that's probably the wrong word to use. Yeah, I don't bring on anybody that's cooperated with the government. You know what I mean? I just rather not do that. But I don't think he would come on anyways, because he has his own channel and they do their own thing over there. And I've heard other people say they offered him to come on. They even offered him money, and he turned it down. So I don't think he would come on anyways. That's funny style, bro. I'm the type I'll just say yes or no. Yeah. That's what I mean. I don't know. I would have thought the same, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, he don't know me. We don't know each other. Like, he don't know me. I don't know him. So what's the problem? Just say like, yeah, you know what, man? I'm not gonna do YouTube right now. Maybe after I start my own stuff, maybe later in the future or something like that. But I didn't even get that, man. So it's a trip, man. I can't call it like an alcoholic. You know what I mean? It's one of them things, man. It's just how people do their thing. I don't know. I try not to. I try to be upfront and not upfront, but be honest about things, right? Like the other day when I went to the bully show, and I got my 2 dogs with me and my 2 puppies, and this dude comes up and he just grabs my male, who's he's gonna be 4 months old tomorrow. So this was last Saturday. So he was 3 months, 3 weeks, and he kind of like grabs him and manhandles him. And my son looks at me and I tell him, "Hey, dude," I said, "What the?" I tell him like, "Fuck you doing, dude?" You know what I mean? He's like, "Oh, I'm a dog guy, this and that." I said, "Yeah, I respect that, but you don't grab my dog like that." And he's like, "Oh, he just didn't get what I was saying." Then he comes with, "Oh, well, I had to make sure he's not mean." Oh, yeah, first he said I had to let him know that I'm the alpha. I said, no. You ain't never the alpha on my dog. I'm the alpha. You know what I mean? This dude was a big dude too. Now I don't give a fuck. If you're in the wrong, I'm gonna let you know. If I feel like you're stepping boundaries with me, mine, I'm gonna let you know. That's just the way it is. And he looked at me, and you know what I'm saying? I stood my ground. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? You got me fucked up, dude. You know what I mean? Straight up. And then I smelled the alcohol, and I'm like, oh, this is probably gonna get ugly right now. But it didn't. It didn't, because at the end of the day, you know, Big Lou don't play that shit. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I would have whooped him, but he got to be put in his place. You know what I mean? You don't do that to somebody else's dog. And then I told him, I said, you know, that's like my, you know, you going up to my kids, grab my kid or something. He's like, oh, but these are dogs. I said, no. I said, these dogs are like my kids, and they're with me more than my kids. So you got me fucked up with all that, buddy. You know, straight up. What the fuck? He grabbed your dog like that? Yeah, he didn't grab it like all crazy, but he grabbed it crazy enough that he had no business doing it. You know, it wasn't just like a pet on the head, or you know, sometimes somebody will pet your dog on the head, and that's if they know the dog already. This dude has never even seen my dog. You know what I mean? But then again, I think he had seen my dog, but on like the Instagram, because the person that I got him from Washington bought a puppy from him like a year ago, right? And they got the dog up there in Washington. So anyways, he tells me who he is, his kennel name, and I go, I know who you are. I go, I follow you on Instagram. And then I go, yeah, you produced this dog, right? I say the name of the dog, and he goes, oh yeah, that's my production. I go, well, I got this dog from those people. And so he's drunk, and he didn't even understand what I said at first. I think he thought I said that his production was my dog's dad or something like that, I think. And then he thought about it, and he's like, oh, well, that's not my production. I said, well, who said I said that? I never said that it was your production. I'm just letting you know that's where I got it from. And then so I heard that because they posted it a few times that, hey, you know, the orange collar male that was formerly known as this is now living in California with Big Lou, you know, in the no-fly zone, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And that's how that happened. But yeah, you got me fucked up. Dude's tripping. Yeah, dude's tripping, all right. You know what I mean? I mean, why would, and that's what I told him. I said, well, why would I have my pup? Why would I have my dog here if my dog was crazy or vicious at a public place like this, at a dog show, where people are literally walking by your dog within inches, and a bunch of other dogs are here? Why would I bring my dog here if the dog's vicious? You know, it just everything. He just tried to throw everything at me, but the kitchen sink on excuses, and I just shot it down every time. And I just told him straight up, nah, you know, you got me. Basically, you know, I didn't say in those words every time, but basically I was telling him, you got me fucked up. You don't touch my dog like that. You know, and I said that a couple of times, you know. But if that was the case, why would he have grabbed the bigger looking dog, the one that really looks like it could be possibly me, my female? You know, because even though my boy is taller than her now, you know, he's a lot thinner than her. He's like 30 pounds less, weight-wise. You know what I mean? She would have been the one I would have been more like worried about. You know what I mean? But like I said, these dogs are well-mannered, well-behaved dogs. They didn't give no type of vibe that they were mean or anything like that. They weren't barking at nobody, growling at nobody, charging at anybody, none of that. He got no business touching your dog at all. Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, like Mark said, that's a damn truth right too. Because when I first got there was a guy that had like an alcohol booth there, and he was already tipsy. And he comes on my car, and I just took the dogs out, and I was putting their harnesses and leashes on, and a dog shit it. It wasn't my dogs; it was some shit that was already there. I didn't see it, and then this dude comes up to my dog, and he just puts his hand out, and you know, now the dog kind of moves and almost steps in the shit. And he's like, oh, and I said, well, what do you expect, motherfucker? You come over here, you don't even ask me if you can fucking touch the dogs or are they cool or nothing like that, which that's what you should be doing. You know what I mean? You know, and I go, now you got them moving and almost backing them into some shit, you know, literally, you know, but he thinks it's funny, you know, and I checked him, you know, and once I checked him, he was like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, you're right. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking like I'm the toughest motherfucker there is, because I'm not. But when, like I said, if I feel like you're disrespecting me or you're stepping over some type of boundaries, and I feel I'm in the right, I'm gonna let you know. And wherever it goes from there, it goes. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes. And it's not the right way to think, that's for sure. Because, you know, I'm getting older now and I can't do what I used to do. I keep it real. If that was the case, it'd be a whole bunch of 45-year-old world champions, you know, on all levels. And they're not. And why is that? Because you lose. As you get older, you lose. Speed, power is the last thing to go. But you lose speed, you lose, you know, somewhat of equilibrium, you know, but that has to do with the speed, the eye-hand coordination, all that shit. You know what I mean? And just keep it real. I'm not, it's not cool to be fighting and shit like that at my age, you know what I mean? But hey, like I said, I'm still not all the way over that yet. I still got to let you be known when you're crossing some type of boundary. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. You know, I mean, people change and it takes time to change, but you got to keep in mind, you've been a certain way for so long. You're not going to even change. Like, even when it comes to like saying, okay, I'm 45 years old, but you know, you say, you know, you know, I did some changing over the last 6 years, and I have. But at the same time, take the 6 years off to 45, and I'm still 39, so I still got 39 years a certain way. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. You know, it takes a while to retrain yourself and all that. But you figure, you know, dog shows are nice and all that, but those kind of dog shows is still, you know, a lot of that old mentality, that old behavior is still around. You know, because the people. Most of the people are from the hood, from the ghetto, from the barrio, from the, you know what I mean? I hope you guys know what I'm saying. Tino the Mino in the house. What's going on, Tino the Mino? Let's see, Big Lou. I don't let nobody touch my dog, bro. People always ask me to. I don't let nobody touch him. I don't like that. Unless I know you, society's fucked up backwards these days. Yeah, exactly. But that's another thing too. I matured from too. Like when I was younger, I used to like to have that mean dog, get him, watch him, you know, and they'd be growling and shit. You know, now that I'm older, I got grandkids, and you know, the dogs. You know, and I realize too, even though these are bullies, they're not all the way pits or pit bulls or Staffordshire Terrier, but they are a majority. You know what I mean? 70 to 90% of the blood is just that. But you know, these dogs have had a bad rap for so long that I don't want to be part of that shit no more. You know what I mean? I never fought dogs before, but I'm saying, like, you know, like I used to like that. You know, watch them, bro, watch them, get them. You know, and I let them go, and I let them go chase people. You know, like in my yard and stuff. You know, to the gate, I'll let them. You know, but thinking back on it, that's stupid. You know what I mean? It's stupid because California has some fucked up laws when it comes to liability and shit. You know what I mean? And just the fact that the breed is, you know, it's been how would I say, it's been, you know, it's been labeled, you know, unsafe. You know, they'll turn on you, you know, all that. My dogs, I got 3 of them now. I just got my 3rd one on Sunday. If you guys don't know, that's the big white Merle female I got. That's Daisy's aunt. That's Daisy's mom's sister, littermate sister. They're from the same litter. And all of them love kids. All 3 of them. They love kids. They love other. They get along well with other dogs. You know that's not an issue. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, I've been to. I've been in 2 bully shows. I've been in 2 bully shows. It's like one big hoop down. Yeah, excuse me. Only got my kids and family around them. He's dog friendly, but I don't let people pet him. Yeah, I let people pet them, like when we're at the dog park or something like that. But they're still good watchdogs though, and they're puppies still. You know what I mean? My boy's 4 months old. He barks and growls and all that when people come by the car or through the window. You know what I mean? Daisy, same thing. And then the new female, she's 3.5. But when I picked her up from Sacramento, after I got because I put her in the car and I still was talking to the guy that I got her from for a while outside the car. And then when I finally got in the car with her, within just a couple of minutes, somebody walked by and she started growling. You know what I mean? So she's fitting in perfect over here. But I keep her at my cousin's. I got my 2 with me, but she stays at my cousin's. Let's see, only got my kid. Okay, yep, yeah. I went to a bully show. Saturday. I went to another one like 3 weeks ago, and then I went to another one 2 months ago. So it was my third. I've been to 3 now. They're having the big Cinco de Mayo show. I got some custom collars coming. I already seen one. It's clean as heck. It's badass. And then I got another one. That one's for Champ. And then I got, he told me the theme on daisies. And then he's doing one for my son's dog. So that's what's up. But I'm going to go ahead and tap out, guys. I've been on, an hour and 30 minutes almost. I only plan on coming on 40 minutes to an hour. Mikey tapped out at 105, which, like I said, I only plan on coming on for 40 minutes to an hour because we ended up getting on a little later than what originally was planned. Originally, we were planning for 6, but I got caught up doing something, so then I moved it to 6:30 or 6:45, and then I said, you know what, let's just make it 7, and I still ended up being 4 minutes late. So anyways, it's one of the things all the time with me and being on time with the live stream. But, I had still like 16, 18 people in here, and I didn't feel right tapping out with that many people in here. So we got, 7 or 8 now. So, plus I get up early in the morning. I get up at 4 in the morning for work. It's already almost 9 or 8:30. That alarm clock comes. That alarm clock, before you know what's going off, man. And I got that loud ass rooster on it. You know what I mean? That one loud as fuck, wakes the whole house up. And then I got another one set for 10 minutes after because I got a bad habit of falling back to sleep. You know what I mean? So normally I'll set 3 alarms. That way, I'll wake up for sure. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. But this new project I'm doing has been kicking my ass. Just, I'm just constantly driving, you know what I mean? From 4:30 in the morning until like 4, anywhere between 3 and 4:30 in the PM straight. You know what I mean? So you figure that's anywhere from 2.5 hours to 3 hours of driving in the traffic, and then up and back, and then while I'm at work, I'm using the car at work. We're doing audits on the trash company, so they want us just to do it visibly from the car when we're passing by, but we got to put our hazard lights on. And then I get 2 routes a day, and they pay me. I get $50 a day for gas, $25 a route. So that's a blessing because I'm driving all the way to San Jose, which is like, I think it's like 60 miles each way, right? And then each route I put on another 15 to 20 miles. So you're talking like 110 miles round trip just to drive to and from the office and home, and then another 30 to 40 miles while I'm at work. You know what I mean? So they give me, like I said, they give me $50 a day, so I get $250 at the end of the week on Friday or when my payday per week, and it's miscellaneous pay. It doesn't get taxed, and I usually put like 40 in the tank 3 times a week. So I put about 120, and that third time I put gas, I don't use it all up. You know what I mean? I use about half. So they give me, so I'm paying for the gas that I put in that week, right? They're reimbursing me that, and then I usually have at least 100 left over from what they pay me for gas. So that I can't complain. You know what I mean? I can't complain. Got to work. I just wish it was a lot closer because originally when I put in for this project, I put in for the job that was only 20 miles from me, not 60 miles away. I think I'm between 50 and 60 miles away. The one that was only 20 miles away ended up falling through. So I had to go on to the next project. And then this project is only 6 weeks to 8 weeks long. And we've already got, Friday will be our 3rd complete week. And then from there, we're going to the town that's right next door to do the same thing. And that'll be another month's worth. And then there's another one booked for right after that. So these projects are going to take about anywhere from, 3.5 months to, a month and a half, a month, and a month is low. So what is that? That's 3.5 months up until 1.5, that's 3.5, and 1.5. That's 4. No, that's 5. So anywhere from 3.5 months to 5 months, I'll be doing this job. You know what I mean? Hopefully by then, something will kick off where it'll be a long-term placement project, like I was at the project before this one. Well, actually, the one before that, which I was stationed there for 4 years. You know what I mean? So, hopefully, it's a little bit closer than where I'm at now. But if not, okay, oh well. You know what I mean? But at some point there, I'll probably try to look for something closer. You know what I mean? Because with this gas money they're paying me weekly, it adds out to like another $5 an hour. You know what I mean? So I can't plus it's non-taxable. So really, you want to be honest about it, it's more like probably $6.57 an hour. You know what I mean? That's what it would come out to be if it was taxable. You know what I mean? Net pay, right? Yeah, that's I can't think right now. Is it net before taxes, or is that gross? I can't think right now. I'm tired. But I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. I appreciate everybody that's gonna tap in after this uploaded. Marky Mark, have a good night. Tino the Mino, have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. Daddy Longlegs, Michael Moormile, Sigma Male, Bob Murray in New Zealand, Myron 740, Nick M, Timo DeMille. Thank you to our guest, Michael DiLeonardo Jr., Tyler. What else we have? Michael, let's see, Gray Jedi, B Dip, Cartography, Camilla, Bonlick, Tracy Gramwell from England, Vito Martucci Jr., 215 to NY, Randy Marsh, JMSJ, Mr. Goyle. I think that's everybody. Oh, yeah, Richard Dowling from Ireland. We had some good peoples up here. Brad Nicolades, Stiffy Lubricante. Oh, I didn't even see Stiffy. My bad, Stiffy. Nelson Pad 52. Tyler, I think I already called out Tyler. I think that's everybody. Dragon 1982. Michael Caruso. Mikey said Sammy calls Omerto. Yeah, he says he's pronouncing shit fucked up. I don't understand how you do that when you're Sicilian or Italian. You know what I mean? He's Sicilian and he brags about being Sicilian, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, what I mean by that is how you gonna get the pronunciation wrong. You know what I mean? Because certain cats they'll brag that, and it's true. It's true. There's nothing wrong with it. Plus, it's the truth. They're bragging that they're from Sicily, where the stuff started, which is true. So it's bragging, but it's a truthful brag. And it's not really like a shitty brag, in my opinion. It's not like a show off brag. Tim Hitty Head in the house, tapping in from IE Ontario. Bye. So yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. And as you can see, I'm over the 1,000 subscribers. I think I got almost I'm pushing almost 1,200 now. Excuse me. But my watch hours are still, I'm barely halfway on my watch hours. I need 4,000 watch hours, and I have about 2,000. Let's see. Okay, I read that already. So yeah, so I need these watch hours. I need people. So I hear people saying that something about them putting on autoplay and basically like a reel and just play the videos like overnight when they're not watching and stuff like that and trying to help me out. I hear people saying that. I don't know if they're actually doing it. You know what I mean? I don't really expect people to do that, but if you got extra time, some of my videos are short. They're only 8 minutes. 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So it'd be appreciated if people can watch. Check some of them out. But with that being said, like I said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and tap on out. I'm gonna try to get some rest and get ready for the tomorrow work again. You know how that goes. My priority, Soleil tapping in again. Over the years, baby. Yep. Gonna hit that 5-0 pretty soon for me. Got another grandkid on the way. You know what I mean? So getting old. I'm getting more grayer too. My hair. I'm starting to notice my pretty much my whole chin is all gray now. My mustache is gray. You know what I mean? My little hair under my lip is, you know, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I leave that patch of hair right there. That's all gray. You know what I mean? I'm getting old, man. Sugar Bullets in the house. We got Christopher Capello. What's going on, Chris? If you guys haven't, check out his channel. He's got a channel too. He shows a lot of his work. He's involved with, you know, his actual work, occupational stuff. I don't know what would you consider yourself? Construction, electrician? I think you're an electrician. I think. I'm not really sure, but anyways, yeah. So we got big things going on over here, man. You know, I was able to pick up that third dog Sunday, man, and I got blessed. I didn't even pay $1 for her. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I thought knowing who she came from, that he's a big name breeder who produces big name dogs, and that he'll sell them later on to big kennels. You're talking about dogs going for like 20,000, 30,000. You know what I mean? I see one dog, he sold it for 10,000, and then he got like 3 breeding straws from him, which each straw you can get like 7 to 10 breedings. So if you sell each, if you're selling the stud credits, if you have 7 to 10 studies on each straw, you can get anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 for a stud fee. So if you could do that off each straw 7 to 10 times, you're talking anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000. You know what I mean? A straw, and you got 3 of them. Plus, you got $10,000 cash for the dog from the beginning. You know what I mean? Imagine that, all that money. You know what I mean? All that money you made off that transaction. That's just one of the dogs that he produced. A big name dog that he produced and sold into another kennel, and the dogs are known by those kennel names. So we got Prime Yard Markoff. We got my nose is clogged. You got Prime Yard Markoff. You got Blue, who's now known as Bossy Blue. You got Loki. I don't know where Loki went. You got Cypher. You got what's the other one? Oh, Morphosis. So Morphosis is a littermate brother to Daisy's grandpa. His name is Horchata. He's a Merle. Now the female I just got is his direct daughter. So it's Daisy, my female Daisy's dog. It's her aunt. It's her mom's littermate sister. She's been bred twice already. So we're gonna go ahead and breed her 2 times. We're gonna breed her 2 times. The first one is gonna be with a male, a chocolate tri male named what's his name? Goliath. He's like 24 inches tall, 24 and a half inches. I think he's between 24 and 25 inches tall. He's got a 28-inch head. He's 160 pounds, and he's a chocolate tri. So that means, if you guys don't know, that means he's chocolate, brown, and he's got some tan points on him. And then he's got white. So those are the 3 colors. And then she, Maybelline, is white with the tweed color Merle, and she's a Merle. So those are the two of the main colors that people want. A lot of people look for color, and that's what they want first. We, on the other hand, is about structure. It's about temperament. For temperament first for me, and then in a close second, you got structure. That means like the dog's body style. Straight feet. The top line, nice rear angulation, no overbite, no underbite. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. No stiff stifles. Things like that. You know what I mean? And then also health and quality of life. So all those 3-4 things are neck and neck, but temperament's the main thing. Here we are at the dog show. We have my 2 young dogs, right? Daisy at almost 8.5 months old now, and Champ's 4 months. At the time, Champ is 3 months, 3 weeks, and Daisy is 8 months. of the show. And then, you know, they're behaved. They're laying there. And then there's the dog that I just got, Maybelline. 2 of her puppies are there, and they're 6 months old pups. And they're laying in the wagon, minding their own business, just chilling. And then there's another cousin. She's about 14 months old. Her name's Lulu, and she's just sitting there. And everybody's just behaving and well-mannered, and like I said, temperaments off the hook. You know what I mean? Well-behaved dog, man. And I say it always, and I'm gonna keep saying it. And I know people will probably get tired of me saying it, but I'm gonna keep saying it because at the end of the day, I'm very grateful that I got these dogs because they're so well-behaved and mannered. Like I said, their temperaments are great. That it makes it that easy for me because, like I mentioned earlier, they go with me everywhere, and so I take them with me to work too, because I'm not gonna leave them with, say, you know, at my dad to deal with him. He's 80. You know, he's getting older. He's getting weak on his feet now. You know, he loses his balance, and so I can see them making him fall really easy. And we don't want that to happen. You know, a lot of times when people get older, once they start falling, you know, their health goes down the drain because now they start getting, you know, bad hips or whatever injuries they may have sustained from falling. And I've seen so many people go downhill from there. So I definitely don't want nothing like that to happen, right? And then, like, even leaving them at home, you know, I can't throw that off on the wifey, you know what I mean, to take them out. So thank God. And like I said, I'm very grateful that they're well-behaved and mannered dogs because they, let's go, jump right in the car with me. As soon as we get off the freeway at the yard, I let them out to use the bathroom. I clean up after them. I load them back up. We go. You know, I'll take a break, maybe an hour and a half into it, hour, just for them to get out and use the bathroom. And then if they seem to be thirsty, I'll try to give them some water. And then maybe another bathroom break, a couple hours. And then we get back to the yard. I'll take them out again. And then jump on the freeway. And then we go have fun after that. You know, what I mean by that is go take them to a field. Go take them to the dog park. You know, let them run around, play with each other. You know, they're puppies. You know what I mean? They're still pups. They're young. They like to play. You know, Champ's 4 months old barely. He's born December 20th, 2023. Wait, no. December 20th, 2022. My bad. And he just turned 4. He'll be turning 4 months old tomorrow on the 20th. Daisy, on the other hand, is 8 months old. 8.5. She's born on August 8th, 2022. You know, so they're still young. The new dog I just got, she's gonna be 4 in November. So we're in what month? We're in the 4th month. So November the 11th month. So she's 7 months. So she's 3 years old and 5 months. 3 years, 5 months old. You know what I mean? And so the plan is, like I said, we're gonna take her to Goliath. I talked his measurements. I did a short with him on my channel showing him. The guy is from Hurley's. If you guys go check out Hurley's Pride Kennel on Instagram, you'll see him. Plus, I put him on my shorts here on the YouTube channel. His name is Goliath. Like I said, he's about between 24 and 25 inches tall, 160 pounds with a 28-inch head. His neck has got to be probably 25 or 26 inches. And she is 140 pounds, 22 to 23 inches tall, and 27-inch head, 26 3/4 inch head. So she's massive for a female. She's got big, thick rear end. Her bone. When you hear somebody say all bone and dome, that means their legs, their bone is really thick. She's got big ass paws, and then dome obviously is the head. If you guys don't know, so dome and bone means big bone and dog and big head. So that's the plan, is to take her to Goliath next. And she came into heat like 2-3 months ago. So the next 2 to 4 months, she should be in heat again. And like I said, we're breeding her to him. I believe that these dogs, there should be some integrity when it comes to these dogs, and 4 times breeding should be it, right? Some of the registries, that's all they'll recognize us for, and that'll be her 4th litter. And the plan is to retire her, and hopefully by that time, her 2nd heat coming up, excuse me, after the next time we breed her, then we're going to take her to Champ that time, her last one. Hopefully Champ is popped by then. You guys will remember what pop means. Pop means they widen out, because right now he's tall. He's 19 inches tall. He just passed Daisy on the height, but he's thin. He's in that reindeer lanky stage right now. So hopefully by all that time, by the time she comes to heat the next time, is actually bred with Goliath, has the puppies, right? Weans the puppies. And it comes into the next heat. He should be like 14, 15 months old by then, if not older, and hopefully he's popped by then. Like I just said, pop means not only growing tall, but growing wide-wise, popping. So hopefully he pops, because if he doesn't pop by then, nobody's going to take my word for it that, oh yeah, he's going to pop, just take my word for it. It don't work that way when it comes to, somebody, clients taking your word for it when it comes to buying a puppy or getting a puppy or whatever. So I'm hoping he pops by then, because why? Who would want to keep paying somebody a stud fee when you got your own stud there on the grounds? So hopefully, like I said, his genes, everything works right, and he gets that nudge and that pop by a year old. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna let it happen naturally. I'm not gonna give him no weight gain or muscle memories and none of that stuff. I've been giving him the vitamins. New vet vitamins for the immune system, the coat, the skin, all that stuff, and then I've been giving the new joint, which is for all that. Their immune system. Like I think I mentioned already, the new joint is the blue bottle. That's more for the bones, the growth of their bones, their soft tissue, their bone plate, all that type of stuff. So. I'm on top of it with that, and like I mentioned too, we got some stuff, some stuff from the grocery store for like a home remedy type stuff for the yeast infection on the feet. You start noticing your dog is licking their feet, their paws a lot, and if they're a light colored dog, you start seeing the discolor, the what I call it, the stain, like the stained feet. So she's white, you see the red, the maroon color on her feet, and when they ask about that, they ask, is your dog's feet, if the dog's paws smell like corn chips, and for sure that's what's up. That's what it smells like. So they try to change her diet a couple of times and it didn't work. So we're gonna go with there's two different ones we could use. I got them both. We could use either the white vinegar, this with what's that called? Diluted with water. So you take 8 ounces of water. You take 4 ounces of the white vinegar, and then 2 ounces of the Dawn dish soap, and mix it up. And then the other concoction is the sweet or the apple cider vinegar, and the same thing with that. 8 ounces of water. 4 ounces of that, and that's it, right? Yeah, and then just mix it up, and then you just put it on them like you would normally lather your dog with shampoo, and then rinse it off. The only thing is that excuse me, her paws, she has the infection, and then she has also she transferred it to her ears from scratching, her ears with her paw. So I watched a video today with the vet, and what he did was he got one of the little bulb syringes for like the babies when you give them medicine, and he put the apple cider vinegar in there, and what he did was 10 mLs, and he pushed it into the ear, and then what he did was he started massaging under the ear and between the ear and the jaw, and he started massaging that for like I think he counted 3 1,000s or 5 1,000s, and then get yourself either a rag or what they call that, to soak it up like a sponge type thing, like a oh man, you guys know what I'm saying, right? So you get the excess liquid out with that, and you soak it up like oh man, my mind went blank right now. I can't think of what it's called, but you guys understand what I'm saying, I hope. And so that's what I want to, make sure we get that. So hopefully, tomorrow he's off, so hopefully he can take care of that tomorrow. We got here. So who we got here? U2F key user. Big Lou. What's going on, man? So I don't know if you understood me when you mentioned the Chihuahua price. These dogs I paid a little bit more than that each one. But the pups can go for anywhere from $1,000 up until the most expensive one I seen was $25,000, and that's more of the the big name kennels selling to people that are luxury or luxury people or celebrity type people. You know what I mean? Which are like DDK, the guy that has the Hulk dog. He sells his puppies for something like that, 20 grand, 15 grand, 25 grand. You got Bossy Kennels, who's out of, I believe they're out of LA. She has a lot of clients that are sports players. I watched a video with her and what's his name, Zach Levine, I think it is how you pronounce it. And he had a couple of dogs he bought from her. And then you have BGK, Big Gemini Kennels. He sells a lot of dogs to sports players and musicians. He got into some beef with Young Jock. So go check his channel out too. BGK, Big Gemini Kennel. And then and like I said, he's had some big ones too. And he had that beef with dude, the rapper dude. But he's had some really big blue ones. BGK's The Rock, BGK's Cujo, which they sold overseas. I can't remember. What. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, man. So anyways, they can be expensive. Let's see. I named those three. Those are pretty much the three that I know of that's very high like that. No, I'm not saying it's not worth it. Some of them probably are worth it. Well, what? Hold it now. Hit it. No, I'm playing. Let's see. The Rock came out of Canada. Yeah, exactly. He bought it from Sunline. I think it was Sunline originally. He paid $25,000 for it. Let's see. The Rock came out of Canada. He's legendary in the movie game. Okay, so have you watched that video? The video, BGK's Legends, XL Legends, and honorable mentions. If you haven't, or if you have watched some of it, okay. So I'm watching these two cats wrestle right now. It's just funny. So on that video, I'm trying to remember. Oh, that's funny. It's funny they're watching the way they're acting. But anyways, if you watch that video, I'm trying to remember if so at the end they mentioned, or the honorable mentions, the Merle for the Merles, right? They mentioned okay. So there's a sorry about that. I'm fucking tired. There's a dog in the Merle named Morphosis, right? I'm pretty sure you know who that is, right? Because Morphosis' son is Gambino, which is owned by BGK. BGK has made this known a couple of times where he says Gambino is his best producing pup or best producing male ever. Okay, so Gambino. Okay, so Morphosis was a production of Dusty, and they say his name too in there, Dusty Mudrick. Okay, Dusty Mudrick's the one I just got made from. Dusty Mudrick's dog, Horchata, which is May's father, Daisy's grandfather, and Champ's great grandfather, is Morphosis' littermate brother. They're from the same litter, right? Meaning that Morphosis is uncle to all my dogs, right? Straight uncle to Daisy and would it be a great, straight uncle to Daisy, or not a Daisy, but May, and then a great uncle to Daisy, and a great great uncle to Champ. Okay, so that's Morphosis. So Gambino is a first cousin, which is BGK's dog, is a first cousin to May. Okay, they also mentioned Markov on there, Prime Yard Markov. Okay, Markov also was a production of Dusty's. Dusty later sold them to Prime Yards. Shit. Let's see. Who's that one? Let's see. That's the one. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what else. Oh, okay. Then also in that video, they okay. So those are the ones that are more closely related to my dogs. Okay. Then they mentioned King Lion and King Liger. They're both on May's pedigree. On Daisy's pedigree, it only says King Liger because she's one generation after May and her mother. Okay, so she don't have King Liger on her. I mean, King Lion on hers. She only has King Liger because King Lion is King Liger's dad. Okay, and then they mentioned Iron Cross. Oh, they do still around, but there's a dog called Stelfish. He's on Daisy's pedigree, as well as the big one I just got, the Vanilla Gorilla May. And then there's trying to think of this. I think that's it. The ones that are related to them. You know what I mean? There's a trip. I'm watching these cats mess around right here. It's a trip. Okay. Mr. Markov, yeah. So Markov is man, I'm trying to remember in my head where he fits in on Daisy's pedigree. I think I want to say great. Yeah, he's a forefather, a grandfather, but I don't know how many far back. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's where all that's at. I'm gonna go ahead and tap one out because I'm tired. So yeah, like I said, we got big plans with this dog May, also with Champ, which is also with May. Kind of having second thoughts on breeding Daisy. I might skip it depending on how well the puppies come out with May, because I got, like I said earlier, I didn't have to pay cash for her or anything for her up front. The only thing I got to do, though, when I do breed her, I have to give them a couple of puppies, which, I mean, a couple of puppies, and the rest of the puppies are mine. And then you're talking a whole nother litter is mine. So it's a win. It's a win-win. Um, so what we'll do is we'll take care of the couple of puppies, and then we're gonna keep 2 females for sure. My cousin, we're keeping Mayat's gonna get one, and then my son's gonna get one. So majority, like I said earlier, we're gonna get chocolate tri. Most likely it'll be chocolate tries, maybe just chocolate and white, and then also they're gonna be rural 5. There ain't no real legitimate count. Like, say you got 15 people, it's gonna be 7.5 going to come out this color, and 7.5 going to come out that color. It could be more like, if, say 10 puppies. It could be 6 merles. Different shades, different colors, and then the merle pattern, right? Because merle's not a color. So basically, if you got a lilac tri merle, then you'll put on the paperwork will be lilac tri, and then you might put light blotched or something like that, or chocolate tri, merle blotched. You know what I mean? And so, majority of the people, those are the colors they want: black tri, chocolate tri, and then the merle patterns. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah, that's funny. So, anyways, yeah. So it's not about with me. It's not about color. It's about structure and temperament and all that, right? But when it comes to the merle, I don't like all colors. That makes it. I mean, I don't. Wait a minute. Let me rephrase it. No, I don't like colors. I like structure over color. I should have said it like that. But I am looking to keep me. I'm looking at one point here. If it's not this coming litter, Goliath in May. If it's the next one, Champ in May. But Champ should be. I mean, I'm going to get him DNA tested too, like I did Daisy. But his dad is Bubba, who is a chocolate tri. So it's not for sure though. But I'm hoping, and I think that he's going to be a chocolate. He's going to be a tri carrier. You know what I mean? Because his dad was actually phenotype where you. So genotype means it's in their genes. Phenotype means it's what you can see. So his dad was a phenotype, chocolate tri. Hopefully he's also going to be Champ. I'm talking. Hopefully he'll be a genotype when it comes to that color. You know what I mean? And so, anyways, what I was getting to was we'll keep a couple of tries, probably a couple of chocolate tries, and then we'll probably keep females, and they'll be in the program, the breeding program at No Flies on Bullies, right? And then I'm looking to get me a lighter colored merle, one of the lighter colors, either the lilac or the oh man, I'm trying to think exactly how to say it. I guess it would be lilac. I guess lilac tri, and then the merle pattern, or like May is, she's majority white, but she has tweed patches, and then with the merle pattern, they call it tweed. That's the color it is. And I like that too. And anybody's familiar with Fit Bully TV, you got the dog Eagle. I like that. What he is, I like that. So I like to give you one of those, but priority is 2 females, and then maybe later, like I said, if for whatever reason it don't work out that way on this litter, then we'll look the next litter, taking her to Champ, and hopefully, they'll come out with some good pups, and then we can keep another 1 or 2 off that one. You know what I mean? But so
that's where we're at with that, peoples. Yeah, I'm beat. I'm tired. I'm like damn near falling asleep right now. My nose is clogged up. I'm tired. You know what I mean? My eyes feel very, very heavy. In the count of three, you're gonna feel sleepy. You know, the impetus. That's how I feel right now. I'm tired. I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, so you figure that's 4 to 4 is 12 hours, and another 5, that's 17 hours. And in 7 hours, my alarm will be going off again, and to do it all over again. You know, sometimes I think about, you know, people. I mean, not nobody in general, but just the fact that I know of people that have worked, you know, at the same job for 40 years, um, sometimes maybe longer, and you know, pretty much done the same thing day in and day out for almost a half a century. You know what I mean? If that ain't dedication and responsibility and being a man, you know, I don't know what it is. And you know what I mean? Uh, I must have been wrong all along, thinking what a man was. You know what I mean? Because in my opinion, that's straight World War II generation type thing, right? In my opinion, the World War II generation is the greatest generation ever. You know, that's my grandpa's generation, my grandma's generation. If they were alive right now, they would have been what? My grandma would have been 90, 99, right? No, 97, because she's born in 26, and my grandpa was born in 24, so he would have been 99. You know what I mean? And you know, you hear nothing but good stories about everybody from those generations. You know what I mean? The World War II generation. You know what I mean? They used to take care of their families and you know, and do their thing. You know, back then it was just one, just the man worked. You know what I mean? The mom stood at home, took care of the kids. You know, did all the whatever the house work consisted of. You know, not to say the next generation didn't do well for themselves either, but it's just something about the World War II generation that you know, and then plus two because my grandpa, you know, my mom's dad, and then my step grandpa. I don't even know. We never called him grandpa. We just called him by his nickname. And I've said this before. He got with my grandmother way back. Um, Probably was maybe 1970. Um, you know, I mean, it's way back, but it's not like way back for their age. It was her second marriage, his second marriage, I think. But he, you know, he was just a good dude. But when they got together, I believe that the only cousins that were alive was my two brothers. My two brothers are the oldest, so you know, most of my cousins, my brother would be their oldest cousin. But when it comes to me, because it's my brother, my oldest cousin is somebody else, right? Michael. And so my two brothers, my one brother's about to be 60. My other brother's gonna be 56, and then Michael's 55 because he's 10 years older than me, damn near to the day because he's born July 27th. I'm born July 24th, so exactly 10 years apart almost, minus those 3 days. And so he's my oldest cousin. So I know for sure those three were born when my grandma got with this guy. Possibly my oldest girl cousin, and she's born in 70. Yeah, 70. So I'm not sure if she was born. So yeah, like I said, they got together in 69 or 70. Um, Anyways, he's also World War II. You know, spent 30 something years in the military. Uh, Good dude. Took care of my grandma really well. You know what I mean? He was you know, a great example. But my grandfather was still that patriarch. Leadership. That person we looked up to. That person that we used to hear those stories about it being crazy or whatever with the business, I guess you could say. But we didn't know that part of him. You know what I'm saying? We never seen that part of him. We seen the old man that we knew. You know what I'm saying? And then we knew this guy, which we didn't call him grandpa, but
you know, at the end of the day, he was like a grandpa. You know what I mean? We loved him. He loved us. You know, he helped whatever made my grandma happy. He did it. You know what I'm saying? And so obviously that's helping with her family, taking care of her family, things like that. And he was all for that. You know, he might not have liked it all the time, but because of my grandma, him loving my grandma, he did what he did. You know, he did he you know he did his thing. I'll just leave it at that. And so um, it's a trip. I'm reading this right here. Vito Martucci Jr. I got a couple of things today saying I look like a Puerto Rican Ice Cube, but I've got that many times in the past in person and a lot of times on YouTube, but even dating back way before YouTube. And so it's funny, but I was reading something and the guy said that I look like, I'll read it to you right now so you know what I'm talking about. So he looks like a Puerto Rican Ice Cube, but okay, this was later, but I will check him out on the straight of my big man, Mikey Scars, because that's Mikey Jr. had it put on the thing. So I said, Vito, I've been getting that a lot lately, Ice Cube. I appreciate you going to tune in tonight. And so he hits me back with, LOL. Well, you do like Cube in that pick, bro. I got you, Pop. I will definitely check you out. Tune in to see what it's hitting for. So then that was for tonight. He did tap in, so I appreciate him, you know, for tapping in and everybody else. Uh, You know what I mean? And so I thought tonight's show was pretty good. You know what I mean? We might do a second part. We might just do a second part. You know, on a lot of different things. You know, like tonight was kind of a few different things here and there. You know what I mean? Uh, so like I said, I appreciate each and everybody that tapped in, man, and I appreciate everybody that's going to catch us later once it's uploaded. And you know, it is what it is. But I appreciate all you guys nonetheless, and I appreciate all the support, all the subscribers I've been getting. Um, you know, I cracked that 1,000, I think, a week and a half ago or something like that. Just need to get those watch hours up. You know what I mean? But they'll get there. You know what I mean? They'll get there just like the subscribers got there. But it's cool. It's you know I'm just great. I'm appreciative. Put it that way. Thanks for tapping in, Bella. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it go. Like I said, I'm beat. I still have an 8. I gotta, jump, just relax and get a little bit of rest and back on the road, back to work tomorrow. But tomorrow's the last day before Friday, so it is what it is. Gotta work, right? Got obligations, got bills, got people that are looking up to you that you got to take care of, kids. And, I'm so grateful that I'm in the position to take care of, people that I've, somewhat neglected over the years because of being incarcerated and, things like that. But I'm definitely not the same person I was 10 years ago, that's for sure. So I'm still working on things. I'm very grateful for my progression, what I've progressed into. And I have, not involved in things that I used to be involved with, so I can't complain, right? 6 years, July makes 6 years of freedom, and we're gonna keep on pushing for another 6 years of freedom and then some. You know what I mean? So again, I appreciate everybody for tapping in, and be sure to hit that like button before you bounce, and we'll do this roll call one more time. Great Jedi, B Dip Cartography, Camilla, Tracy, Vito, Randy, JM, SJ, Mr. Goyo, Mike Mormel, Mr. Goyo, Tracy, let's see. Oh, here we go. Mr. Goyo, Tracy, Mike and DiLeonardo Jr., Richard Dowling from Ireland, Brad Nicolades, also tapped in from Australia, Stiffy Lubricante, Nelson Dad 52, Tyler, Dragon 82, Nick M, Michael Caruso, Myron 740, Daddy Longlegs, Timo DeVille, Bob Bowery, Michael Mormile, I already said Michael, Sigma Bell, Marky Mark. Man, my nose is clogged up pretty good. Tito Domino, Tim Hennessy, Chris Capello, U2F Key User, and Bella Mia, my Shih Tzu princess. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you all. Have a good night. Get some rest. And let's get it crack-a-lackin' mañana. Right back to work. You guys know how you do. But right now, Big Lou got to go. So adios. Que te vaya bien.